Friends, ask yourself a question. What prevents us from becoming what we have always dreamed of being? Why do we often choose easy pleasures that seem to bring satisfaction, but in the end only distract us from the main thing? Laziness, bad habits, addictions, these are not just weaknesses, but barriers that we put ourselves. These chains hold us in place and prevent us from developing. But there's good news. We can change it. And the first step to change is to realize that the power for change lies within us. It's not the world around us that dictates the rules, but we create our own reality. Today, let's talk about how to cope with this, how to develop the will, get rid of bad habits, and become free. Let's start the journey to a better self right now. Part 1. Introduction. Understanding the nature of addictions and laziness. In this part, we will begin by realizing that bad habits and addictions are not just accidents or the result of external circumstances. They are all a consequence of avoiding a life in harmony with oneself, a life in which difficulties are seen as opportunities for growth rather than obstacles. Stoics, such as Epictetus and Seneca, taught that bad habits, the pursuit of short-term pleasures, and laziness are weaknesses of the mind that rob us of freedom and distract us from deeper goals. They said that true freedom is the ability to control one's desires and passions. Harmful habits, like addiction to pleasures, are only an illusion that they provide joy, while they limit us and make us dependent. We often pursue these pleasures because we find it easier to avoid difficulties and challenge ourselves than to go through them. However, if we want to achieve real goals, it's important to realize that we need to learn to live in harmony with ourselves and with nature. Stoics teach us that everything that happens to us is the result of our own decisions and inner state. When we seek fulfillment in the outside world rather than in ourselves, we not only lose our freedom, but we become dependent on external circumstances. It is inner weaknesses, such as excessive attachment to pleasure, that prevent us from moving toward true purpose. So an important first step is to understand how our weaknesses, fears, and cravings limit us, and at what level they begin to rule our lives. Part 2. Recognizing and accepting responsibility is the first step to change. And here we come to the first and most important step towards change, realizing responsibility. Think about it. Only you control how you react to life events, only in your hands, your inner state. Epictetus taught that we should only worry about what is within our power, and that what is beyond our control is not worth spending time or energy on. This is the Stoic dichotomy of control, the separation between what we can change and what we cannot change. Recognizing the harm of habits and taking responsibility for our actions is a step that takes courage, but it is what empowers us. Once we realize this, we realize that true freedom from bad habits begins with ourselves. We can begin to analyze ourselves, realize our goals, and form our priorities. And when you do, you will have gained a tool that will guide you through any storm. Creating your personal philosophy is your compass in the world that will help keep you on track. Part 3. Strengthening your will and practicing resilience. In order for this compass to work, you need willpower. Willpower is our primary resource. It's what allows us to overcome internal conflicts and build discipline. The Stoics argued that discipline is the foundation of resilience. An example would be Seneca himself, who said that habitual comfort makes us vulnerable, while training the will frees us from fears and addictions. You don't have to change your entire life right away. Start with simple exercises, giving up small pleasures, overcoming small temptations, strengthening your will step by step. Remember, every small victory is a step toward a big change. Willpower training is a daily path to independence, a way to live in harmony with yourself and your goals. Only will and determination lead to true resilience, which in turn makes us truly free. Part 4. Working with Thoughts and Internal Dialogue. Now let's talk about something that plays a key role in overcoming addiction. Our thoughts. The Stoics said, "Thoughts are the foundation of our actions and our passions. The way we think shapes the way we feel and the way we act." If we want to change our behavior, we must start with our thoughts. The Stoics suggested the technique of negative visualization, imagining what could go wrong so that we can be prepared for it. When we prepare for difficulties in advance, we accept them calmly and go through them with a clear mind. Have an honest dialogue with yourself. Become aware of the thoughts that are pushing you into bad habits and direct them to the questions. What do I really want? What will this contribute to me in the future? This inner dialogue is your weapon against your own weaknesses, against anything that distracts you from your real goals. Part 5. Forming new habits and achieving resilience. Finally, it's time for the most important step of all. Forming new habits that will strengthen you, not weaken you. The Stoics taught that creating virtuous habits takes time and effort, but it is the true art of living. They knew that environment plays a huge role. When you are around people who support your goals, who inspire you, the path to change becomes easier. Progression and consistency is what will make your movement towards your goals continuous. Small daily victories, small improvements help us stay motivated. Let me emphasize, Stoicism is not about sudden changes. It's about daily striving for improvement. And every small victory is a step that brings us closer to who we want to be. Conclusion. Friends, overcoming bad habits, developing inner strength and resilience is not just a task, it's your journey, a journey to a stronger version of yourself. The Stoics give us the tools to walk this path: awareness, taking responsibility, working on will and thoughts, developing resilience. Each step you take brings you closer to true freedom. Remember, Stoicism is your compass to guide you through any challenge, to become freer, stronger, and wiser. Start today, take charge, and let each of your days be a movement toward a better self.